Hi everyone, hope we're doing well. Today I want to teach you guys how to do crochet ribbing for beginners. When I first started crocheting, ribbing was something that I was definitely quite scared to approach, but it's so much easier than you probably think it is. Now, ribbing is going to be something that's really beneficial for you guys to learn if you like creating garments, and even things such as beanies where there needs to be a little bit of stretch. So I'm going to teach you the two main methods that I like to use as a beginner, just because I don't want to overwhelm you with a bunch of ribbing stitches that you just don't really need to know at the moment. So the first ribbing that I'm going to be showing you guys is the first ribbing that I learned how to do, which is a double crochet ribbing. So for both of the techniques that I'm going to show you as to how to create ribbing, we're going to be doing a complete row of 10 stitches. To start off our ribbing, we're first going to do a slip knot and start by chaining a length of 12. Now with this technique, this is going to give us a total stitch count of 10 stitches per row, including the turning chain as a stitch. So I've done those 12 chains, we're now going to skip 3 stitches, and in crochet, when we say skip 3 stitches, we're not on about this loop on our hook. The first stitch we're going to skip is this V right here, so 1, 2, 3. We're going to skip these 3 stitches and work a double crochet into this 4th stitch. So I'm going to yarn over and insert my hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And we're just going to do this for each one of these chain stitches, so just one double crochet into each stitch. So this is what my piece looks like at the moment. These are the 3 chains that I left out, and I've done a total of 9 double crochets. But in this pattern, this chain 3 here is actually going to act as a double crochet. So even though we have 9 double crochets and a turning chain, I count this as 10 stitches. So this second row is when everything starts to become more obvious as to how this is going to become ribbing. So we're going to start off by chaining 2. I can now turn my work and yarn over, and because this turning chain counts as this double crochet, my next stitch is going to be worked into this stitch here. And normally what we would do is we would insert our hook like this and go under these 2 loops. But what we're going to do to make this ribbing is, instead of going through this hole like this, what I'm going to do is, if you see, all of our double crochets have these V's at the top, and we have something called a front and a back loop in these V's. So the front loop is the loop closest to you, and the back loop is the loop behind that. We're going to be working our double crochets into this back loop. So I'm going to find this double crochet here and look at the top of it. And this is the V on top of the double crochet. So I'm going to insert my hook like that. So just underneath that back loop, I'll show you again. So I'm putting my hook in the middle of this V like so, and then putting my hook underneath this one loop. And this is going to be where we put our double crochet, like so. I'll show you again in the next stitch. So I'm going to yarn over and find the midpoint in between the front and back loop and go underneath just the back loop. So again, that's the loop furthest away from you, before I then do my double crochet. And what I'm going to do is continue this pattern for each stitch all the way up until I finish this row. Remember earlier I said that our turning chains are going to count as our double crochets. So our final double crochet should go into our turning chain. So the chain next to our double crochet, which is this chain here, is going to be where we put our last double crochet. And again, we have that V at the top of this chain, and we're going to put our hook in the middle like that and underneath the back loop. So there's really no difference as to what we've been doing this whole row, but you know that you're doing your final stitch because your last double crochet should go into your turning chain. So I'm going to yarn over, find that back loop, and then do my final double crochet. I'll take you through the next row, but the next row is literally the exact same as the row that we've just done. So I'm going to start by chaining 2 and turning my work. we're going to skip this double crochet because the turning chain is kind of standing in for this double crochet, and work our next double crochet into this one here. And again, looking at the top of this stitch, finding the V and working into the back loop, we're going to do a double crochet, and then we are just going to repeat this pattern all the way up until we reach the turning chain in the row below, and that's going to be where we put our final double crochet. So that's the row done. If you're unsure as to whether you're doing this correctly or you need more guidance, what I would do is I would count each row. So make sure you're doing your turning chain of 2 and then doing a total of 9 double crochets. And if you're doing that and your work is tracking straight, then you know that everything is okay. I'm going to quickly finish off a few rows and show you what this ribbing looks like. I'm doing my final stitch and I've done a total of 6 rows of those double crochets, and this is what everything looks like. So this technique is a really great place to start and I think it looks pretty good. The one problem with this technique though is there is a lot of stretch within this stitch, but there's not necessarily a lot of pullback, and this is fine. This is going to work for a lot of things, but for those things where you need to have a really tight ribbing, this is going to be the technique that I would use instead. And this one uses slip stitches, so it's a little bit more time consuming, but it is worth it for projects where you need to use it. So for example, the jumper that I'm wearing today is super oversized and I used slip stitches for the ribbing. If I was to use a double crochet ribbing for a garment like this, my ribbing would kind of just sit there and not have a lot of pull in. Now it's definitely the ribbing that I reach for the most, just because in my opinion it's the most functional crochet ribbing. We're going to start off with a slip knot, and this time we're going to stick with the 10 stitches, but we're going to start off with 11 chains. So that's 11 chains, and this ribbing works a little bit differently because our turning chain isn't going to count as a stitch. So I'm going to skip this 11th chain here and work my first slip stitch into the second chain from my hook. So I'm going to insert my hook, pull up a loop, and the loop that I've just pulled up is going to go through the loop on my hook. I'll do that again, so I'm going to insert my hook, pull up a loop, and then get that loop and pull that through the loop on my hook. And we're going to be doing a total of 10 of these, just one into each stitch. So I've just done my 10th slip stitch. I'm now going to chain one, which is going to act as our turning chain so we can turn our work. And then we're going to skip this turning chain and work our first slip stitch into the second stitch away from our hook, which is the last slip stitch that we've done. And again, all of these slip stitches are going to be going into the back loop, so just try and find the V of the stitch that your slip stitch creates and then find that back loop. So for me that's right here, and then do your slip stitch into there. So I've just done those 10 slip stitches. Again, I'm going to chain one and turn my work, skip the turning chain that I've just done and work my first slip stitch into the second stitch away from my hook, which is the last slip stitch that we did in the row before. I'm going to quickly build up this panel a little bit more just so you guys can see what this ribbing looks like. This is what everything looks like after 12 rows, and you can see it builds up a lot slower than the other technique. This is how much stretch I've got, and everything pulls back into place, and obviously once you wear it, it will work a little bit better. I would say if your patience can handle it, this is going to be your better option, but obviously there's a time and place for both of these techniques. So that's going to be it from me today. I hope you guys find this helpful. If you're watching this video because you're trying to create your own garment, I do have a video on the best stitches to use for clothing, so that's going to be really helpful. So go ahead and check that out as well. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the comment section below. I sell written patterns online through my Etsy and Ravelry store, which I'll also leave linked below, alongside my social media. Right, you guys have a good rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.